Others are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
Bit earlier at about 7 a.m. A group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler, an SWS survey shows 7 out of 10 Filipinos believe the reproductive health law is constitutional. Senator Escudero says the Senate Ethics Panel should be formed before it can discuss the expulsion of 3 senators charged in the pork barrel scam. And Australia says new signals consistent with black boxes offer a promising lead in the search for MH370. Hello, I'm Ai Makaraig, sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. A new survey by the Social Weather Stations or SWS shows 72% of Filipinos are in favor of the controversial Reproductive Health Law or RH law, while 77% believe the law is constitutional. The survey also finds 84% of the respondents believe the government should provide free supply or service to the poor who wish to use any family planning method. The group that commissioned the survey, Forum for Family Planning and Development Incorporated, says the results show no surprises and affirm public support for the law. The release of the survey comes on the eve of the much-awaited Supreme Court ruling on the law's constitutionality. The RH law took 13 years and 4 months to pass. It mandates the distribution of free contraceptives, orders government hospitals to provide RH services, and requires public schools to teach sex education. The landmark legislation was temporarily stopped by the High Court last year after various petitioners questioned its legality. About 500 activists hold a vigil outside the Supreme Court compound in Baguio City, optimistic that the court will uphold the constitutionality of the RH law. The supporters, who call themselves the Purple Ribbon for RH movement, begin a vigil Monday ahead of the expected ruling on the case. Former Akbayan Representative Risa Ontiveros says the court is, quote, on the verge of making history. She adds, we hope and pray that it will be on the right side of history when it makes its ruling by providing the populace a chance at a better quality of life rather than bringing them back to dark times. Purple Ribbon conveners say they are optimistic about the law's victory following a survey showing strong public support for the law. Senator Cheese Escudero urges the Senate to form the Ethics Committee as calls mount for the chamber to expel the 3 senators indicted over the pork barrel scam if they refuse to resign. Escudero responds to an online petition of the Scrap Pork Network urging Senators Bong Revilla, Jinggoy Estrada, and Juan Ponce Enrile to step down or for the Senate to expel them. But Escudero says before the Senate can suspend or expel the 3, it should first form the Ethics Committee.
Tingnan namin noon yan na maporma para madinig man lang yung kaso at mabigyan ng venue yung mga kapwa namin senador na mailahad yung panig nila.
Last week, the Ombudsman announced it will file plunder charges against them for allegedly funneling pork barrel funds to fake NGOs in exchange for kickbacks. 8 months after the start of the 16th Congress, the Ethics Committee has yet to be formed. Senate leaders admitted they were having a hard time forming the committee because no senator wants to take on the chairmanship of the sensitive panel. But whether the committee is formed or not, the plunder law mandates the automatic suspension of the 3 senators once charges are filed against them. Revilla and Estrada say they will not resign or go on leave, while Enrile has been silent since the announcement of the plunder charges. Doctors at the Makati Hospital say alleged pork barrel queen Jaene Zaplan has to undergo a biopsy before any other kind of medical procedure. Makati Hospital Director Dr. Perry Peralta says the biopsy is crucial so doctors can determine the extent of the surgery Zaplan needs. He adds the surgery will be more extensive if the mass in her uterus turns out to be cancerous. Zaplan was transferred to the Makati Hospital from her detention center in Laguna on March 31st. The Makati Regional Trial Court granted her motion for surgery and hospital confinement but denied her request to be treated at St. Luke's Medical Center. Napoles faces charges for allegedly detaining former aide turned whistleblower Ben Hurlui. The government issues storm surge and tidal warnings for coastal areas in at least 5 provinces in the path of Tropical Depression Domeng. Based on a blog post from Project NOAA, coastal areas in the Visayas and Mindanao could experience storm surges of 2.27 feet or 0.69 meters above the tidal level. State Weather Bureau Pag-asa says Domeng was spotted 670 kilometers east of Davao City. It is forecast to move west-northwest. Mindanao and the regions of Cagayan Valley, Eastern and Central Visayas will have cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and thunderstorms. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will have partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms. It's been nearly a month since Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 disappeared. The frantic search led to false leads and theories like terrorist attacks, suicidal pilots, engine malfunction, and cyber hacking. The Malaysian government says the plane crashed in the Indian Ocean, but families say they want hard evidence. Aviation security consultant Philip Baum says airline authorities should use profiling and behavioral analysis on passengers.
Let's go right back to the beginning of the crisis. Sort of 2 days into it, we found that there were a number of passengers that had boarded that aircraft with passports that did not belong to them.
Yes.
And Interpol has made it absolutely clear that they have got a database of 40 million documents reported lost or stolen,
Yes.
and yet airlines are not able to access that database. They're not accessing it at this moment in time. Those passengers should have been prevented from
Stopped.
getting on board the aircraft. First of all, the airlines who are responsible for checking travel documents ought to be able to access the Interpol database. There's no reason why they shouldn't. Aviation security agencies need to stop working in silos. At the moment, you've got the police, you've got immigration, you've got airport security, the airlines, the airports, and none of them communicate with each other. It's almost like a bit of a turf war.
Baum also raises a security risk that has worried the aviation industry: the possibility of cyber threats like hacking into an airliner, diverting the plane, and preventing pilots from taking control.
Know whether or not actually it was an action that was taken from the ground. I mean, there are a lot of people in the aviation industry that are extremely concerned about the cyber threat to aviation. The possibility of somebody hacking in to an airliner and diverting it from its intended course, preventing the pilots actually having control of the aircraft. This was raised as an issue within the industry only a year ago. Most of the aircraft manufacturers have said, don't worry, because the pilots can always override it. But again, you know, it's certainly one that's out there. It's certainly one that has got many pilots worried.
An Australian Navy ship detects new signals consistent with aircraft black boxes over the weekend. Search Chief Angus Houston says it's the most promising lead so far in the search for the missing MH370. Houston says the team now has an underwater search area which was narrowly focused. The signals so far are encouraging, but more confirmation is needed. Houston adds it could take some days before information is available to establish whether these detections can be confirmed as being from MH370. Houston's Joint Agency Coordination Center says 12 planes and 14 ships join in the search over the Indian Ocean. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 3, Indians begin voting in the world's biggest election Monday. The polls are set to sweep the Hindu nationalist opposition to power at a time of low growth, anger about corruption, and warnings about religious unrest. India's 814 million strong electorate is expected to defeat the 10-year rule of the leading Congress party led by India's famous Gandhi dynasty. The 9-phase parliamentary election ends on May 12. Results should be announced 4 days later. At number 6, genetic mutations found in brain tumors in children open up new possibilities in treating brain cancer. Investigators find mutations in a gene called ACVR1, which appears to play a role in an incurable form of childhood brain cancer called diffuse intrinsic pontine glioma or DIPG. The mutations were found in 20 to 33% of DIPG biopsies in 3 different studies published in the journal Nature Genetics. And at number 10, comedian and talk show host Stephen Colbert is CBS top choice to replace the retiring David Letterman. Digital magazine Mashable reports Colbert is at the front and center of potential candidates, though he has not had any formal discussions with CBS. Mashable says Colbert's contract for the show The Colbert Report runs through the end of 2014, freeing the host up in time to make the move to CBS. Another candidate for the post is comedian Jon Stewart. For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. For our social media post of the day, clothing brand Bench draws flack online for allegedly using artist Raffy Parcon's work without permission. Parcon posts a photo of the Bench shirt along with his original artwork. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories that got the most clicks. Today's mood navigator, in it we have a lot of stories in green and blue. SWS, 7 out of 10 Filipinos believe RH law is constitutional, 97% of readers feel happy, 3% amused. Another controversial story from Davao, Duterte shoots sellers of missing cocaine. 39% of people are happy, 38% amused. But the story that got the most attention and votes, innocent Bong Revilla won't resign. 88% angry, 8% annoyed. All contributing to the mood of the day today, most people are angry. That's Rappler's newscast for today, Monday, April 7th, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch your newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel on our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Ai Makaraig, and as you say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.